Once upon a time, the world was a mess. There was a pandemic, and then another, and then another. Life, as the human race knew it, was a disaster in every sense of the word. Then, one day, a scientist came along with a genetic discovery that changed everything. He shared his vision with the world. It was a solution so incredible and epic in scope that life on Earth would not only resume, but it would be like living in a fairy tale. A chance to live in a perfect world. An eternal dream. The problem was, no one really thought through the consequences. Soon, my life changes forever. I'll be given the gift of being frozen in time, the gift of never dying, a gift that everyone on this train and in this city either has or will receive.
Arrival. Wild Zone.
The problem is, I'm not so sure I see it as a gift. C.S. Lewis once said that free will makes evil possible. But it's also the only thing that makes possible love. Goodness. Joy. It seems so romantic, the notion of living forever, doesn't it? But I ask you this, how can you really live if you know you're never going to die?
I am immortal. We at the machine are immortal, and you, all of you, can be immortal as well. Life as we know it is forever changed. I will not only give each and every one of you the gift of eternal life, but I will also give you the gift of freezing in time when you have reached your peak perfection. I will eliminate, through our applications, the bad and most ugly of our human emotions. And I will eliminate suffering from injury and illness and emotional duress. I am the pilot taking you into this new world, and I will always serve you.
As you all know, 200 or so years ago, the pilot gave birth to our society. No one had to die ever again.
Some didn't follow him, though.
That's correct. Unfortunately, they all eventually died. Once the pilot's reprogramming of the genetic code took effect, the world and its people functioned much more efficiently. We saw the end of war, borders, and political divide. We became one nation. Let's take a look at the process of the code. SHEM application. Of course, all of you know what it is, but I bet it's pretty amazing to see such an extraordinary event with your own eyes.
Extraordinary. Depends on how you look at things. In this moment, this woman will be frozen in time forever because, as deemed by the pilot, she's reached her peak potential as a human being. For most people, this happens around age 25. Some younger, some older. For me, that time is now. The most important day of my life, the day I become immortal, is just days away.
Pretty incredible, isn't it?
I should be excited, but I'm not.
Right, we better get going. Almost late for lunch.
I'm filled with fear.
Welcome to the Alessandria train station.
I feel alone. Like no one else sees the world the way I do. But deep down, I know I can't be the only one that thinks these things, feels these things. The problem is, in the society I live in, it's too dangerous to try and find them.
I don't have a lot of time.
Who are you?
The way you're thinking, you are not crazy.
What do you mean?
Reach me when you're ready. It's safe. When you use it, our communication won't be monitored.
Reach you? Why would I do that?
But maybe they just found me.
Who are they? What did she give him?
I don't know. The heart rate escalated and the camera sensed it. Whatever it is, she didn't want anyone to know.
Hi,
You seem surprised to see me.
I am. Very. Why are you here?
The pilot has something he needs from my department, and I think you might be able to help.
The pilot? Are you serious?
I thought you might be excited.
What is it he needs me for?
I believe he'd like to tell you that himself.
Welcome. It's a pleasure to meet you, okay?
Thank you. The pleasure's all mine. I'm a very proud citizen of Alessandra.
You were right about her. You're a guardian in training, correct?
It's been a lifelong dream of mine.
It's wonderful to hear someone have such a great desire to help keep harmony and balance in our city. Let's see if we can't get you one step closer to that dream.
This man here is a terraforming engineer by the name of Logos. He was approached by this woman, a benign citizen by all accounts. Both of them are, actually.
Is there any reason these two people shouldn't be communicating?
Not that we know of.
She handed something to him.
What is that?
That's what we'd like to find out. Probably nothing.
We need someone who isn't yet a guardian. We think you're the perfect person for the job.
Hello? Is there anyone there? Yes.
We're glad to hear from you.
Who's we?
Let's talk in person. I'll tell you more then.
Where shall we meet?
Science Center to learn more about the pilot and the ultimate gift he has given us.
Glad you came. Just wanted to say how great it was seeing you and Elamina for dinner the other night.
Elamina. Yeah, it was great. It's always nice to get together with friends.
Friends are very important. Always good to know when you meet one.
Here are the Guardian reports from this week.
Is there anything from McKay?
Turned out to be nothing.
Are we sure?
While I agree that their initial interaction was concerning, McKay listened to their entire conversation from start to finish, and I assure you, there's nothing to be worried about.
I'd like her to keep going.
Are you certain? There was nothing she said that indicated...
I'm sure.
Is there something I should know? A man named Helios used to work with the pilot. He was a defective individual who concocted something that the pilot describes as a virus, something intended to destroy the code. Helios was rehabilitated, his mind wiped clean, but the pilot fears his ideas remained, that somehow they were passed down.
And he thinks that the woman Logos met might be one of these people?
Maybe. Probably not, if you ask me, but he wants us, you, to make sure.
I didn't think anybody reads those things anymore. What is it?
Just a book.
Being and nothingness. Sounds heavy.
Kind of.
I get it.
Get what?
Wanting to read something like that. You must be getting your code confirmation soon.
I am.
Frozen in time in your most perfect state. The ultimate gift.
That's what they say.
What do you do?
I'm an engineer. Terraforming.
I work at New Science.
Are you a guardian?
No, tour guide. I walk children round the museum of our society and tell them about how gems work and how lucky we are to get them.
Do you believe what you tell them every day?
I don't know.
Seems like something you might want to figure out.
It does.
Arrival. New Science. Doors opening.
This is me. Enjoy the rest of your day.
You too.
find you earlier, so we put together the schedule for tomorrow and posted it.
I was just out for a bit. I had a couple things I had to do. Thanks, Sarah. I appreciate it.
Do you need anything else?
I want you to look into a citizen for me. He goes by Logos.
You're sure no one followed you?
I'm sure. The simplest explanation is that we're trying to spread the truth. There's an entire world of citizens just outside these doors that believe they live a perfect life in a perfect world. But you're not like them. Neither are we. It's clear you're not on your maintenance, that you're opening your eyes for the first time.
But I'm on my maintenance. I've never missed a dose.
That's impossible.
It's true. I don't know how or why this is happening to me.
We are just like you. This is where you belong. You can go back to your life, your book, or you can join us.
Everyone in this world deserves the chance to see things the way we do. You know that.
How?
Follow us.
Are you developing an antidote to the maintenance?
We've created a method to reduce the efficacy of the maintenance. So, yes, an antidote of sorts. Madoran's been instrumental in the process. She's a polymath. She knows more about the code and maintenance than anyone.
Thanks to the manual we located of a man who worked very closely with the pilot many years ago.
Before humans lived forever.
His shorthand was a bit difficult to interpret, but ultimately, after some trial and error, we were able to get it right.
Who is this person?
Helios was his name.
Arcade is our resident historian. There's not much about the creation of Alessandro that he doesn't know.
Sometimes I think there are far more unknowns than knowns. Originally, Helios worked closely with the pilot in the development of the code and maintenance. But once the code was completed and implemented worldwide, Helios discovered that the pilot had gone further. The pilot had modified genes that had nothing to do with health or longevity. Helios started asking questions. The pilot, of course, didn't approve of his probe. The trust was gone. They parted ways. The pilot began to wipe the minds of all the original mortals. Helios became the only immortal, other than the pilot, to have memories of mortal existence.
The pilot collected and stored the information in his data center.
Where is he now?
The pilot eventually had Helios captured and rehabilitated.
That's a nice way to say they erased his mind. Killed him without killing him.
We all see it. What he showed us. When you reduce maintenance, you begin to change.
Maintenance contains mood stabilizers. So you essentially become a muted version of the person you're supposed to be.
Which is why we want to alter the maintenance. Lower its potency so that everyone in Alessandra can experience, for a few moments, a version of what real human existence feels like.
And then what?
Well, removing the maintenance only gives us an edited version of the human experience. None of us can really understand what it feels like to be human without the stakes of human life, without being mortal.
Are you talking about destroying the code itself?
I remember you telling me that Helios's belief in mortal religion was flawed.
I didn't know you could still remember that long ago. I thought we removed that data.
I remember you telling me that mortals needed religion because they were afraid of dying. But with immortal beings, there is no fear of death, and so no need for religion. Religious citizens talked about being alive for a God-given purpose, that their time on Earth was intentionally difficult, and that they were each given a soul which was immortal.
That was the logic of primitive minds. Of course, I always knew that science and technology were the real gods. Their God never worked for the greater good of the world. Mine always did. Humans, the human condition, needed to evolve.
What about Helios? What did he believe?
You're full of questions tonight. Why don't we get back to the game? At the beginning, Helios was as secular as they come. When we were at Harvard, he never mentioned religion, ever. Well, he was a true scholar, and he believed that technology would be the answer to human suffering. Many people started to move toward that direction at that time. Helios started to believe that the human body is a machine. And he was right. We started to work on this idea that this machine could be perfected so that it could go on and on forever. Now that was an exciting time. When we first started our company and we grew our group of scientists and geneticists, we started to feel that we were really going to be able to do it.
For the greater good, right?
Of course.
Where's your book?
I'm sorry?
Your book? What was it?
Being in nothingness.
That was it.
It's too much on my mind to read.
I know the feeling.
You do?
I do.
Who are you?
My name is Akay.
Logos.
Nice to meet you, Logos.
Likewise.
Can I ask you something?
You already have.
That's true. But something a bit more personal.
Depends on what you want to ask.
Do you take your maintenance?
Why would you ask that?
It just seems like you don't.
Do you?
Seems like a question neither of us want to answer. But I get the sense we've got a lot in common.
I need to understand how you plan on doing this. You figured out a way to reduce the maintenance, but getting access to the supply is impossible.
Difficult, yeah, but I wouldn't say impossible. Few things truly are, as long as you have faith.
I scouted the facility and used a fader to scan for vulnerabilities in the structure. As a terraforming engineer, I'm sure you're well aware.
There are no weaknesses.
The construction materials of the building were embedded with synthetic composites that make getting in from the outside impossible.
So I used the fader to scan the surrounding infrastructures.
What'd you find?
All of the Capitol buildings are connected by a sort of underground maze.
Wouldn't it be just as difficult to gain access to those tunnels?
Yeah, unless you knew someone who worked in one of the Capitol buildings.
In fact, as all of you know, Alessandra is currently celebrating its 200th year, living with the gift of immortality that was given to us by the pilot.
Speaking of which, follow me and we'll head to Shem application so we can get a first-hand look. I'll be back in just one moment. Chase and will take you ahead. Be back.
Follow me.
What are you doing here?
The answer is yes.
What are you talking about?
You asked me on the train if I took my maintenance. I do. Do you?
We saw Jason leading the tour. Is everything okay?
Everything's fine. We were just wrapping up. I can't do this today. Let's talk tomorrow.
I'll be here. How does it feel,
How does what feel?
being identical twins? It's a very rare thing.
We've always felt extra special because of that. It's a bond that few understand and that we both cherish.
Are you scared of losing that someday?
Losing what?
The bond you share?
That's impossible. We'll always be the same.
Unless the pilot decides that one of you is ready for your confirmation before the other.
He would never do that.
Of course.
What happened yesterday? Why was he there?
He wanted to tell me he was on his maintenance and asked if I was.
And what did you say?
Nothing. We were interrupted.
Anything else?
We agreed to speak later.
Good. Hopefully you'll be able to obtain more information then.
Amoros.
Do you ever wonder what it's like?
What are you talking about?
To not be on your maintenance. It's just the idea of opening up your mind to its most uncontrolled state. I wonder how it feels.
I don't ever wonder that. And you shouldn't either. Okay, people who do not take their maintenance are broken, defective. They're disrespecting a gift that the pilot has given to them. Deciding themselves that somehow they know more than he does. They don't.
You're right. They don't. It was just a crazy thought I had.
I'm proud of you, okay? You are serving Alessandra and the pilot well. Keep up the good work.
I wasn't sure you'd be here.
I wasn't either.
So, why are you really here?
There aren't many people like us.
What do you mean, like us?
People that think there's something more. Question the world around them. The real reason I'm here is I have some friends I think you should meet.
Friends.
People that think the way we do.
Why?
I think you'd be interested in what they have to say. They can explain more.
Why should I trust you?
You shouldn't. You don't have to. You could walk away right now and never see me again. Or you could come with me.
Welcome. Here you go.
Logos.
I've been looking forward to meeting you both. I wasn't here when you first met the rest of the group. I was in the forested area.
Doing what?
Foraging.
Foraging.
The pilot's dietary inventions are complex and nutrients inefficient to consume, but they taste absolutely horrible. So I've self-trained as a chef. Now, obviously it's hard to get my hands on ingredients that actually make food taste good, so I improvise.
Here we are. You must be okay.
I am.
We're very glad you're here.
Helios believed that we have an intended purpose on Earth. He believed to the core of his being that we're meant to die.
I feel like I'm walking through my life as two totally different people. That there's a part of me somewhere inside that I can't quite access.
That's exactly what Helios thought. He believed there was a creator of this universe and of man. He said that mortals believed that they each had an essence. He called it the soul, which had a purpose given to it by this creator. Instead, the pilot decided to determine a purpose for each one of us, essentially denying us the right to our own destiny.
And while we still feel emotions, they're limited. Mortals experienced more. Much more.
What's the point?
What do you mean?
While what this man Helios believed is certainly interesting, what's the point in believing in a mortal life when it's not something we're genetically capable of? It just seems futile to me.
I hope she didn't offend you.
No. She hasn't. I like people that ask big questions. Because big questions are what we here are all about. I especially like questions that I know the answer to.
Helios called it the code diffuser. It was intended to wipe the code from the genome. He created it as a way to restore mortality.
Why would he do that?
He felt it was a very important part of the human experience, something we are all missing out on.
Has anyone ever used it before?
He never finished work on it. So this is just a prototype. We are planning on restoring Helios's mind data, but in order to do that, we need to find Helios.
And when we do, we'll finally meet the man behind all of this, finish what he started.
Do all of you plan on using it?
Our hope is eventually everyone in Alessandra will.
Why would they? Everyone believes immortality is a gift.
Do you?
Everyone believes it's a gift, as you say, because the maintenance they're taking every single day makes them believe that that's true. Which is why we're hoping to alter a single batch of the maintenance to create a short-term effect. A temporary experience, if you will.
A small window in time in which members of this society might actually be able to process what we're saying.
Are there any long-term effects or permanent damage?
Certainly no damage.
And as for long-term effects, that's the goal, isn't it?
The problem with the plan is that we don't have access to the maintenance supply.
It's stored in a very secure facility.
A facility adjacent to Science.
That's why I'm here. Because of where I work.
What did it feel like to you when I died?
Why do you continue to ask that question? Do you expect a different answer?
Tell me again.
Losing your mother was more than I could bear. And then to lose you. There were days with the pain was so overwhelming that I didn't think I could carry on.
You were close. So close to being able to save me.
After I lost you, I made Helios promise me that under no circumstances would we leave the lab until we were certain that we had it right. Until we knew for sure that the code, the genetic modifier we had created, was the key to immortality. And that's what we did.
But Helios left.
He thought I took too much of the credit, which was not my intention. But I was the driving force.
That part of the story changes every time you tell it.
I found what the pilot is looking for. The virus. Only, it's not a virus. It's a code diffuser. It changes it in some way. Reduces it.
Changes the code.
I wanted to believe that somehow the pilot was wrong. That there weren't people like this.
The pilot is never wrong. Is there anything else?
They want me to help them access the maintenance facility.
What? Why?
They want to alter a batch of maintenance.
For themselves?
For everyone. They want to clear everyone from what they believe to be some sort of mental fog induced by maintenance.
For what purpose?
They want to tell everyone about the diffuser. To convince everyone that we should be mortal.
Mortal. What did you tell them?
I told them I couldn't do it. It's far too risky. What if they succeed?
These poor, delusional individuals. They're not on their maintenance. Their minds are unclear. Why would you ever want to disrupt a perfect world?
What is it that brought you back to us?
I'm here because I can help you access the maintenance facility.
Are you sure you want to do that? It's not a mission without grave risk.
I'm sure. I told you there's no surveillance in this area. No one uses these walkways anymore.
Why is it locked?
I don't know. The scanner's not working. I knew she wouldn't help us. That's not it. This is an antiquated device.
All right, let's go. Let's go.
Which way? Let's stick to the exit plan. You guys go that way and we'll go through new science.
Hello, Logos. Okay. You should be proud. The pilot is delighted with you.
What? You're a god.
Okay.
You lied to me.
I could not tell you I was a watcher, and you know that.
Okay, you have done an admirable service for our society.
Thank you.
Do you have a question? Something concerning you?
I do. When can I see Logos?
I'm afraid that's not possible.
I lied to him for my own gain, and I'd like to apologize.
Well, that's a lovely gesture, okay, but the Logos you knew is gone. In order to rehabilitate him, to free him from his unnatural desire for immortality, we had to erase his mind, his memories, everything that made him who he was. It's for the better, I assure you. You should feel a great sense of pride for the work you've done. Is there anything else you haven't told us?
No.
Thank you.
There is one thing. I'd like to remain at Knee Science.
A Guardian office awaits you at the Capitol.
It's where I feel comfortable.
Then that's where you'll stay.
He's in Dayton.
It's me. Okay. I came to apologize. I'm the reason you're here. I'm the reason you've changed. If I knew what they were going to do, I never would have. I need you to come with me.
I'm sorry. I really am. But I don't know who you are.
Hello? Hello?
Logos?
No, it's me, okay.
She says she knows where Logos is, but needs our help.
After what she did?
I agree with Suka. It's not worth the risk. Not to mention, we have no way of knowing if a story is true.
It could be a trap.
She seemed sincere.
Yeah, she did when she was here before, too.
Okay?
Yes.
We can't help you. I'm sorry.
But please.
People used to openly worship here. A belief system based entirely upon faith. Madoran told you we can't help you. So why are you here?
I understand why you don't trust me. I thought people like you were bad. I thought you were broken, searching for a truth that doesn't exist. I thought Logos was doing the same. It all seemed wrong. I came face to face with what scared me the most. Believing in something so different to the world I've known. I felt that way because that's how the pilot wanted me to feel. After I stopped taking my maintenance, I realized you were far from broken. And the truth you're searching for does exist.
You stopped taking your maintenance?
Completely.
You still haven't answered my question.
I found Logos. He's in Dayton. His mind has been wiped and he needs to be restored. We need to save him and you're going to help me.
Why won't you tell me the real reason Helios left you in the machine?
He was jealous. You know about mortal jealousy.
For him to turn so quickly on you. He must have had a reason.
It was nothing of the sort.
It's Logos. He's gone.
Gone? What do you mean gone? Gone where?
He didn't report to his office. His data is gone too. The K must have downloaded it directly.
Find them!
Everything's going to be okay. I promise. I know what it's like to feel really unsure about something.
What do you mean?
I grew up in a world that was perfect. Made for me by the pilot. For all of us. That's what I thought, at least. But there were these questions. These thoughts I kept having. Like maybe there was something more underneath all the perfection. But I was wrong for having those thoughts. I was wrong to question the life I was given. But those same questions coming back, and it's seeming impossible to push them away.
Why are you saying this?
Because you're not going to remember any of it in a few minutes. We're going to bring you back.
There was nothing in Akay's data that indicated this should have happened.
Perhaps her data was inaccurate.
Her scan showed normal levels of maintenance.
I trusted you. Shouldn't have.
Logos? 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 It was surreal. You were you, but you weren't. You had no idea who I was. No idea who you were. I'm glad you're back.
I'm glad to be back.
So Nidus has a plan, a way to show the world who we are.
The pilot's global address will be broadcast in just a few days. I found a way to hack into it. This will allow us to replace the pilot's feed with our own.
Well, of course, before we do this, we need to alter the maintenance to make sure our message is heard, which didn't go so well last time.
I have a plan.
And here's a brief explanation about how our colony began exactly 200 years ago. That was really good. Okay, now you try it. And here's a brief explanation about how our colony began.
I can't talk long, but I need your help.
Thank you. I promise it'll make sense if I've asked you to do this.
We trust you, okay?
Why don't you do the honors?
It works. Let's go.
I just heard from Mason. They should be here the day after tomorrow.
Have they heard from Gaga?
Not yet.
I'm sure he's just out gathering supplies.
In anguish, I apprehend myself at once as totally free, and as not being able to derive the meaning of the world except as coming from myself. The recruit who reports for active duty at the beginning of the war can, in some instances, be afraid of death, but more often, he is afraid of being afraid.
I'm sorry, Does it go?
Taken by the Watchers and wiped clean.
I'm sorry.
Me too. You know, sometimes I wonder if the pilot didn't have it right. With the pain of loss.
We can find him, restore him like I was.
With the pilot aware of us and what we've been up to. I hope so.
I'll be just across the way if you need anything.
Thank you, Logos. Couldn't risk leaving it behind.
The altered maintenance is being distributed. Tomorrow, an entire society will be waking up with a new lens on the world. Our time to speak out is here. Once we breach the pilot's address, our faces, our beliefs will be made known to the world. We won't get another chance. This is it. We need to make sure our voices are heard, and heard well.
What if it worked?
What do you mean? The code diffuser, what if it worked?
It's a prototype. Without Helios's mind data, we have no idea of knowing how effective it would be.
But if it were to work on me?
And you'd be the first mortal citizen on this planet in over a century.
Hey.
Did you mean it?
Yeah. Okay,
It's fine. You want to die? It's your prerogative.
It's not that I want to die.
No? Then what is it?
I want to live. I want to not know what day is my last. To make decisions with consequences. Real consequences. I want to know what it's like to feel everything. And I can't do that like this. I can't do that if I know that I'm going to live forever.
Wake up. Logos, wake up. Wake up. Madoran! Madoran! What's wrong with him?
He used the diffuser.
What can I do?
If we don't stabilize him, we might lose him.
Logos. Logos, wake up. Do something, please.
His body's still in shock, but he's stable. He'll need a few days before he can handle another change to his genome. Then we can attempt at reapplying the code. His data was never scanned and saved. So, who knows if his memories remain intact? This is uncharted territory. Logos. He's stable. I'll let you two talk.
Hey. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you.
It's okay. How do you feel?
Different.
Different how?
Everything is just clear.
Do you like what you see?
I do.
Me too. Logos, I came to Deaden. I had to get through to you, and
what?
I kissed you. I don't know why. A feeling just came over me. A feeling I've never felt before. I just thought you should know.
I'm glad you told me.
Sanitas is almost in. Are you sure you want to do this? Because once you do, once you put yourself out there, explaining what you've done, there's no going back. And there's no telling what could happen.
I have to.
Then I'll be right by your side.
Citizens, it is with gratitude and humility that I come to you today to talk, as we always do, about our society.
I know you're expecting to be addressed by the pilot, but please, hear me out. My name is Logos. I've been a citizen living amongst you my entire life.
What's going on?
And recently, I've wondered what my purpose was on this planet. I started asking myself questions. Questions about how we live. And I started to find answers. I am no longer under control of the pilot. I am no longer imprisoned by the code. I've diffused it, freed myself from its reins. The pilot created you to be who he wants you to be, to live as he wants you to live. Now that my eyes have been opened, I realized how much darkness has been hiding underneath. The pilot made you, designed you to be hollow, to be empty inside, to never see the beauty of life that I now see. Listen to me, all of you. I am mortal and I am alive.
What are you reading?
Tale of Two Cities.
I read that.
I was wondering.
Go on.
Why do you think there's even one citizen who is unhappy? It doesn't make sense based on everything you've told me.
There were always people who were anomalies. As science tells us that would happen. In time, we rehabilitated these defectives and gave them entirely new mind data.
They became new people. What about Logos? Was he an anomaly?
Logos has a natural immunity to maintenance. It is a rare occurrence, but still possible.
So you basically program citizens to be content.
Perhaps a little history lesson is in order. Would you like to know what the human condition was like before the code?
You've told me the history many times.
I told you what I wanted you to know, and I never even gave you the data. There's much more. Mortal life was filled with pure, hideous suffering. War, disease, poverty, crime, hate, starvation, discrimination, evil. World leaders were more concerned with wealth and power than with their own people. I was just a geneticist in a lab, but I saw something in my own work that others failed to see. Would you like to know what that was? I saw possibilities. Hope. I saw changed society. I knew that if I applied my research, I could solve the world's problems.
What about free will?
Free will is responsible for every grain of suffering in human history. I watched many people die. People I cared about. And I saved everyone. I saved everyone else from experiencing that pain. Look at me. Death is nothing more than a looming black hole. There is no other existence on some other plane. No God, no angels. It's a fairy tale, Amanda. It's fantasy. I created heaven. In Alessandra. Right here, right now. Why should there ever be all that suffering? Why would Logos want to be responsible for this? I created him. I gave him life, safety, a place away from fear and uncertainty. They all are right here with me.
I am going to save you from yourself, Logos.
You are not living, you are existing. You are bound by chains. Should this life be so still, so static? But what if you were given the urgency of knowing that you can never repeat yesterday again? That is being alive. And that is beautiful.
All right, I'm here. What is it?
We need to act now.
Your worry is not warranted.
Do you not see what is happening?
A natural immunity to maintenance was bound to happen. I could not prevent it.
If he actually is different, isn't that more reason to be concerned?
We all live by blind faith in a man. But is he as wise as we believe him to be? By handing over our liberty to him, are we not subject to him? Are we not slaves? Now that I am free from him, I see the world as it should be seen.
Despite our watchers' vigilance, their movement is growing. Citizens are experimenting with reduced maintenance, displaying signs of irrational thought and behavior.
I see what you see.
So we are losing control!
We are not losing anything. Everything will be as it should be.
And what about Logos? He is openly upturning everything that you have created.
I will deal with Logos when the time is right.
You're not concerned in the least?
Logos has no idea what he's doing.
He's going to die.
Perhaps, but who knows what will actually happen. The diffuser is a prototype. It will take much more to discover how to actually separate the code from the genome. There's only one other who can actually do that.
Peleus. So they would need you.
Helios was naive. Hopeful. He didn't appreciate what my design became. I had to sacrifice him for the greater good. It was quite simple, actually, to separate his data from mine. We'd become two clearly different thinkers.
You did this after he created the diffuser.
He went rogue. Overnight, it seemed he reverted back to being a primitive. He was difficult to control. He started spreading subversive information, and then came his efforts to undermine the code.
But you won.
And his data is in my control and entirely useless to anyone but me. The only human genome which could accept it would be mine. So yes, I did win.
It's one thing to see beauty, but it's another to feel a connection to it. To feel it run through you. What's wrong?
I'm scared.
Of what?
What if there's nothing? What if when we die, we just cease to exist? What if the pilot knows that and he's right?
You're not wrong. He's not wrong, and I now know I can show that to Logos, to everyone in Alessandra.
Citizens, in the end, all we have is faith. Follow us. Oh.
Amanda?
I'm Amanda. That's how she started. But what she should have said, that would have been more accurate in that moment, as she addressed the citizens of Alessandria, is, I am Helios. I told Logos the news. Helios is alive. Well, his data at least. Amanda, the pilot's sacred artificial creation, downloaded Helios's data onto her system. All of it. Helios's thoughts, ideas, emotions. Amanda holds the key to the new world. She has the information we need to restore the human race, to restore freedom and discover our own true purpose, as life was intended to be. Now all we have to do is find her.